Good morning, everyone. Alrighty, I am sorry about having my finger over the camera there. I am currently just going to check my mail, but just wanted to check in here with everyone and basically let you all know that I'm going to be changing my format for my channel. I'm going to be moving, just showing you guys some scenery, by the way. This is where I live. This is actually my home area. I live out in the country, as you can see. This is my property here. And I'm going to be changing my format. I'm tired of being sucked down into the negative environment of the controversy that's going on kind of worldwide at the moment. It's distraction. Doesn't matter really how you look at it, it is distraction. Down there is where our home site is supposed to be. May or may not wind up being down there. We got some issues kind of going on right now. There's our burn pile for getting ready for spring. Here's, my little temporary structure that I have set up, over top of my RVs that we're staying in. There's our little porta potty, my truck, car, tractor, stuff like that. Here's our, our RVs underneath our structure. Like I said, it's just a temporary structure, just kind of keeps some of the stuff inside. Yeah, it's quite cluttered. You definitely have to do some interesting things to set up in this kind of situation. There's my battery bank. My solar panels are right on the other side of this wall here. There's my inverter, my charger. There's my 12-volt battery charger that runs off of an alternator. It's not currently hooked up and running. I need to get a different alternator. The one I got is causing issues with itself, so I'm gonna have to basically get a different one. And there's one of my other generators. I also have two more on the other side. There's one of my spare motorcycles. I've got all kinds of stuff, and as you guys have seen before, we do have a lot of clutter going on in here. So sorry, that's a class I got going there. All right, so let me swap this around here. Sorry guys, I not really set up to do any of this morning. Just kind of, like I said, was going to get my mail and wanted to go ahead and talk about what I'm going to be doing. I've decided I'm going to stop trying to wake up the public in the way that I'm doing. There's a lot of us out there that are trying to get the truth out there in that way, and trying to post videos, and it's just there's a lot of it, and it does create a negative environment. Even if you watch some of my own videos, I get upset about stuff as I'm researching it and discussing it, and it doesn't help me, it doesn't help you. It's all stress and distraction, in my opinion. Right now, whether you believe this kind of thing or not, if you look back at the beginning of my channel, what I was originally doing on this channel, it was more about healing and health and moving forward with the benefits of living, not being part of the problem or being weighed down by as many of the problems, kind of ways to try and get out of it. And I have, my own issues and health issues I've discussed in the past. We are homes, kind of on our own homestead out here, living off grid. And actually that may be coming to an end soon because of situations that are, seem to be out of reach at the moment. But we're going to probably have to wind up, moving back into a town, into a house or an apartment, because we have till July 1st to get certain things done, and it just, although it seems unattainable, we're working towards them. We're just not sure if we're going to be able to get there before that point, for many reasons, mostly financial at this point, but also partially because we were having trouble getting people to actually do what we need done, come out and get it done. So sorry, I'm on my phone, guys. So this is Probably better video than I usually get, but I'm all over the place because I'm trying to hold my phone. I'm going to start focusing back on doing things that are positive for the body. And one of those things is to release stress, to stop doing things that stress you out. What stresses me out, and I'm pretty sure it stresses the rest of us out that are in this community, is chasing down the Q posts, following the president, trying to follow what's going on in the world. Now, I'm not saying that you have to ignore this stuff. Matter of fact, I'm not going to ignore this stuff. I'm just not going to be part of the problem. I'm not going to sit there and try and, ferret out all the information so I can share it with people and try and, decipher Q's stuff and research all that. There's enough people out there that do a better job than I do at trying to get this stuff out there. And it like I said, it aggravates me and it causes me stress. And if anybody out there is anything aware of what causes health problems, a lot of it is stress and negativity in your life. The more you have negative in your life, the more your energy field drops, as far as its ability to help protect you, and you end up getting sick. That's a really weird way of saying it, I guess, but it's basically what it is. So you have to keep your energy body up as well as just your physical body. And when you start having constant negative energy, whether it be your own or other people's around you, if you're in an environment where you're constantly surrounded by negative energy, this is going to basically cause the same situation as if you were just negative yourself. So I'm removing myself from the situation of trying to track what's going on with the whole truth movement. It is happening. I have no doubts that it's going to continue to happen. My little itty bitty amount that I was, adding to the topic, although in my opinion I had valid points, I'm going to stop being part of the topic. I'm going to, rather than that, and like I said, I'm not going to ignore what's going on in the world. I'm still going to be keeping up with Q's posts and with, what's President Trump is tweeting and what's going on behind the scenes, who's resigning, who's, being arrested. I'm still going to be keeping track of all that for myself. I'm just not going to make it a part of my life enough that I'm going to be posting videos and stuff about it and letting it take up that much space in my head. I want to basically be able to go through, find out what's going on, and then move on to things that are more beneficial. And right now, at the moment, that for me is I'm going to start moving into quantum healing hypnosis technique, QHHT. I been watching a bit about it over the past couple months. It is something that I didn't know about previously, and I'm finding out about now only because it's linked into other things that even if you are one of the people who researches deeper into the Q phenomenon and all the things it entails, it's part of that. It talks about ascension and basically moving out of this body of fear that we live in, which we are completely addicted to, some more than others. Here, I'm going to tell you how addicted to fear we are. As a society, fear movies, scary movies, things that make you want to be afraid, are one of the most popular genres of movie. Why? Because we love fear. It gives us a nice big adrenaline rush. Now, personally, I've never been a fan of horror movies. I've watched a couple, and there's a few I like. But for the most part, I'm a comedies person or a fantasy sci-fi person. So, I generally, even in my media, try to avoid the shocking, scary shit because it's just not up my alley. I'm always, it just seems like those are more negative energies, and I don't like them as much. They don't feel as comfortable to me. So that's it. That's why I've decided I'm just going to move away from talking about, the political and that of what's going on now, and I'm going to concentrate more on the spiritual. So I'm going to start. I'm going to be registering either today or tomorrow for the QHHT on Dolores Cannon's website, and it's going to cost me $997. And again, this isn't really money I have, but me and my wife have discussed it, and we are putting all of our eggs into the positive basket. It's already looking that by July 1st, we're probably going to be evicted from our property by the town because we were not able to get a septic tank installed. Now, we have had the money to get this septic tank installed several times, and we currently have it. But we can't get anybody to get back to us to get out here and get the septic installed. So they have to be licensed, to do it in where we are, which is in Marion County, Oregon. So if anybody's watching this and you're in Marion County, Oregon, and you're licensed to do it, get a hold of me. But it's like we're having just a lot of trouble trying to get the septic system installed here so that we can stay on our property. So we've decided that, although we're not going to give up on our property at this point, and we're going to continue to try to work towards that happening by July 1st. If it doesn't, we're not going to stress it. We're going to go find an apartment, rent a house, whatever the case may be. Yes, it'll be harder financially for us, but you know what? At this point, it's causing us more stress trying to just stay on our property. Not that it's hard as far as the ability to live on the property. Quite honestly, we live quite well on the property. We are quite comfortable. We have food. If you can hear in the background, actually, I've got brand new chicks in a freaking tote in here because it was warm here. They were selling them, so we got them, and then all of a sudden we got this cold snap. So now I got to wait for my chicks to get a little bit bigger before they can deal with being outside. But things were going quite well as far as being off grid and all that. I mean, we'd had a few hurdles we had to go over and accomplish to be able to get it done. But we were to the point where we were actually quite comfortable where we are. We don't have too much problem as far as maintaining an electrical charge. We've got the generators. Causes a little bit of gas, but honestly it doesn't cost any more than if I was tied into the grid and had to pay a monthly bill. And it's just it's a better way for us, because when everybody's out of power, we're still sitting here with power. It's just been nice. I mean, it took us a little bit to get set up. We've been doing it for almost 2 years now, and it kind of sucks that we're gonna basically, wind up losing it to situations that should have been able to be fixed, but it just wound up being, for whatever reason, very hard to get accomplished. So we're going to just put that on hold, and both of us are going to concentrate on moving into more of a healing aspect that we've both always wanted to do. Now, my wife has been a firefighter. She's been an EMT. She's always had a draw to help people, to be, of service to others in the way of helping them to heal or save, lives or whatever. I myself have a real convoluted story. You guys know some of it, and there's been so many obstacles in my life that I'm amazed I'm still here. So she's my rock. She's saved me 4 years ago. If left to my own devices, I wouldn't be here today. So, but I've always, been drawn to the side of aliens because, well, all right. So I've already spilled this on another site and put myself at risk for it. But my father is Thomas Edward Zotera. Zotara. If you'd like to look it up. Anyway, he was a military, he was in the Air Force, retired Air Force military. He was above top security clearance. He was the head of the photo lab wherever he was stationed. In Arizona, he had someone above him, but other than that, he was generally, for at least as long as I remember, from the time I was about 7 till he retired, was usually in charge of the whole shop. Hence the above top security clearance, because if anybody who knows anything about the military or has ever served in the military knows it's compartmentalized. And in this compartmentalization, I'm about to blow Rendlesham Forest story completely out of the water, because there's an MP on there and he's telling you, oh, he was on duty and he showed up at the UFO and took photos of the UFO. Bullshit. Anybody who was in the military prior to modern age, when, you know, everybody now has a camera because of their phones and stuff like that. Back in the day, when, you know, we still had 35 millimeter cameras and stuff, MPs did not carry any photo equipment at all. If there was any kind of photo equipment needed, they called the person in charge of that at the photo lab, you know, the photo, you know, department. I forget the actual term of it, but that would have been my father, and he would have sent either someone out or went out himself. Well, guess what? My father was the man who took any photos at that event. I lived on Woodbridge Air Force Base from the years of 1977 to the year 1981 when we went to Arizona. This is verifiable for anybody that wants to do the research. Robert Ball, if you look him up, I think he was mentioned once or twice in different interviews about Rendlesham Forest, was my next door neighbor. He was the MP on site. Also, the event that happened on Rendlesham Forest was not a single night event, and if you talk to locals in the area, you'll find that out. It happened consecutive nights. So, do the research on that, folks, and then, you know, I don't ask me for an interview on what I know, because I was 10 years old when all this finally wrapped up, and I remember some stuff, but I'm not able to remember details. I just know that the story they're telling you is complete fabricated bullshit, which is why Robert Ball was only on once, maybe twice, because he didn't agree with the situation either. I know this because him and my father were in communication for years after they both left England. So, you know, take it as what you want, you know, throw it out the window. I don't care. Because, you know, if I'm ever able to find the stuff that my father did not turn over about the event, I will post it and it'll be free to everybody. But until I can locate that information, because my father passed away 4 years ago, and we're still trying to go through everything, and there's been so many people in and out of his stuff, it could have very well disappeared by now, and if it did, shit happens, it's lost. If full disclosure ever comes out, the information will come out, and it'll be what it is. So that is, you know, like I said, you know, it's just what it is. I don't have any proof that I can offer anybody other than the fact that if you look at the documentation of my father, where he was stationed, which this is stuff you can access. You may have to go through channels to get this information, but there are people that know how to do this. I am who I say I am. My father is who I say he is. And if anybody that's intelligent enough to does the research can put those pieces together and find that out. So, you know, I've been involved in this I don't know how to describe it, a situation, problem, how deep things go since I was young. And I spent from the age of 8 to 10 in and out of the hospital in body casts, in the military, in England, and I didn't have the opportunity to be out of the house a lot, to know a lot of things. So my father would come in and you know, show me things like pictures of craft at that time. Now we're talking about in, you know, the late 70s, early 80s, of craft, and he would show me photos of craft that could take off from the ground and go into outer space at that time. So a lot of what we're being told in the media and how things happen are bullshit. Most of us know this, And the people who don't know this are waking up to this, especially now that everything's coming out. Well, this is how I got into the truth movement, and this is why I've been into it as long as I have. And I've seen and researched so much stuff, and I do know that, you know, most of this is just designed to keep us down in negative energy. That's what chemtrails are designed for. They're designed to keep us down in negative energy. The more they make us, you know, sick, the lower they make our vibration, the longer it's going to take for this wave, this enlightenment, the ascension, whatever you want to call it, that is, everybody that's awake knows it's coming. You can feel it. You can feel the changing. We're moving from a universe and understanding of being in fear into one of love. So, I mean, most people who are into the movement are seeing what's going on, even if it's just the truth movement, realize this. They're starting to feel this. They're starting to wake up to this. So, I'm going to, for now, you know, there's plenty of, Jordan Seether, Destroying the Illusion is back up, by the way. So, the original. So, if you remember that, you know, go ahead and get back on there. If you left it, he's a great guy for this information. There's a lot of them. Seething Frog is another good one. So there's plenty of people out there doing this research on the Q phenomenon, what's going on as far as, you know, the world political scene and everything else. I am going to remove myself from it, and I'm going to concentrate more on spiritual growth for myself, for my family, for those around me, and for my channel. So expect in the future, I am currently a member of BQH community, which is Beyond Quantum Healing. I have done a regression on my wife, and it was a very successful one. So I'm planning to continue that way, and I'm going to, like I said, be signing up for QHHT classes here in the next day or so, and I'm going to be moving in that direction. So I'm going to try to keep things a little more on the upbeat and enlightened aspect of my life at this point in time. Even though, yes, there's, as I've said, you know, there's still plenty of negative things going on in my life. I'm just choosing not to dwell on these anymore. And me and my wife, you know, we're just going to go with the flow, as they say. And I generally, when I do this in my life, things go so much better than when I try to fight it and just do it myself and force things through. The reason I got myself into the positions that I got myself in the first place, as far as health and relationships and everything else, was because of me getting in the way. So we've decided that we're both going to just step out of our own ways, and whatever's going to be is going to be, and we're going to move forward that way. So with that, we've both been feeling this need to move more towards healing and helping ourselves, others, and our planet. And my wife is going to be training also in BQH and in Reiki healing. So we're going to ultimately just continue to try and grow ourselves and move forward that way, since it seems that that's what we need to do at this time in our lives. So until next time, I'm out. God bless you.